A woman at my gym offered me $300 to pretend to be her boyfriend for one evening. I almost dropped my water bottle. She was direct about it, no small talk. She sat down on the bench next to me, looked me in the eye, and said she needed someone who looked serious and didn't ask too many questions. I apparently fit both criteria. Her name was Diana. She explained quickly, like she'd rehearsed it. Her ex had been showing up to places she frequented, her regular coffee shop, her yoga class. Once, outside her apartment building, just standing there when she came home from work. She'd reported it twice. Both times she was told he hadn't technically broken any laws. Last night he texted her that he'd be at her company's charity dinner that Friday. He'd somehow found out about it. She didn't know how. The dinner was in 2 days. She needed someone present, calm, and convincing enough to make him recalculate. She coached me in the parking lot beforehand, sitting in her car with a notepad like we were preparing for a deposition. She told me his name, what he looked like, how he operated. She said he responded to status and confidence, that he backed down when he felt outmatched. She handed me a business card from a consulting firm and told me that was my cover. She told me not to smile too much. Men who are secure don't perform happiness for strangers. I wore the only blazer I owned. We arrived together. She held my arm, and I could feel the tension in her grip from the moment we walked in. He was already there. I spotted him before she did. Medium height, well-dressed, the kind of person who works hard at seeming relaxed. He clocked us immediately. His expression shifted in a way that was small but readable. We made our rounds. I stayed close. I kept my body language open but positioned, always slightly between her and the room. Twice he drifted toward us from across the space. Both times I made eye contact with him early, held it, and didn't look away first. He redirected both times. At dinner he sat 3 tables over. I watched him watching her. Halfway through the main course he approached. He came to my side of the table first, which told me everything about how he thought. He introduced himself with a handshake that lasted a second too long, squeezing slightly to measure me. I didn't squeeze back. I just held steady and introduced myself by the name on the card. He made small talk for about 90 seconds, mentioned how long he and Diana had known each other, mentioned it casually, like a reminder. She didn't respond. I asked him what he did for work, and listened to his answer with the specific kind of polite attention that communicates absolutely nothing. He brought up a trip they'd apparently taken together years ago. I turned to Diana and said we'd need to leave by 9 for the reservation. She nodded without looking at him. He stood there for a moment with nowhere to go conversationally. Then he said it was good to meet me and walked away. Diana exhaled slowly next to me. He made one more pass near the end of the night. This time he stopped a few feet away and just looked at her, not at me, at her, for a long moment. I stood up from my chair, not aggressively, just stood up to my full height and waited. He left the event shortly after. In the car afterward, she was quiet for a long time. Then she thanked me and said she meant it. I told her I hoped it helped. She transferred the money before I even got inside my building. I texted 2 days later to check in. She responded that he hadn't made contact since. That was the entirety of our relationship. I won't pretend I hadn't started to think about her differently by the end of that evening. Something about the way she held herself through all of it, the composure she maintained while clearly being afraid. It mattered to me more than it probably should have, but she'd been clear from the beginning about what this was. A transaction. She needed protection and I provided it. She moved on with her life. I moved on with mine. I still have her business card in my jacket pocket. I haven't thrown it away.